All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good? All right. It's going to be a great day. We just need the rain to go away, right? This rain has created too much havoc for us. We had a lot of people that missed their flights. Some made it. So thank you for those of you that were able to make it on time. So let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, friends, and welcome to Open Chicago 2019 Annual Business Conference. My name is Amir Chalisa, and it is my honor to welcome you all as the president of Open Chicago. Thank you for taking the time to be here and ready to learn, inspire, and network. Our team has put together an amazing program which will keep you engaged all day. We plan to go until 5 p.m., so please stay with us till the end. Our speakers this year come from around the globe and are here to share information on their businesses and their journey as successful entrepreneurs. We have speakers here from Department of State, the US-Pakistan Women's Council, a healthcare panel, founders showcasing their startups, and Dr. Mahmood Khan speaking about his journey. We have a movie producer, and then we have Mr. Huck coming all the way from London to talk about nonprofit company and his work with students. American Pakistan Foundation at lunch will tell us about a mentorship program in the Pakistani community. Indeed, a great lineup of speakers, so let's give a round of applause to all our speakers. Finally, today we have all our charter members here who are willing to mentor students and young professionals and any of you that are looking for mentorship. So we do have a mentorship program. One of my colleagues, Farooq, is going to come up in a little bit and talk about that as well. An event of this size needs many people who plan and give lots of volunteer time. So let's thank the executive committee. Let's give our executive committee a round of applause. And then you have our charter members. You have a coordinator, Rosa Salgado. Most of you saw her up front. Our volunteers, and certainly our sponsors. I would also like to recognize many of our community organizations who partner with us. MUPPIES, CAMP, AMHP, PPS, TCF, a lot of acronyms, HTF, Sonia Shah Organization, ARA, Jumpstart Chicago, our media friends from Pakistan Times and Urdu Times. I would also like to thank our Consul General Javed Umrani, our Deputy Consul General Rabia Shafiq, and the entire consulate staff for always helping us. Let's give all of them a round of applause. I would also like to acknowledge two very special people that have come from far away. Mr. and Mrs. Salik Malik, President of Open Toronto. Are you here, Salik? Okay. And then we also have Kevan Khwaja, the past president of Open Global, and his son, Roshan. Finally, thank you to Embassy Suites Hotel, Mr. Ashraf Lakhani, Patrick, Kelly, and Aaron. They've always been a good partner with us. Let's have a great conference. Let's enjoy the meeting, the networking with others, lots of information to absorb. And again, my only request is network, have fun, and try to stay till the end of the day. Some of the panels, especially the healthcare panel, which is really great, is at the end. We did this so that you would stay till the end. So hopefully don't disappoint me. Make sure you guys all stay till the end. Also like to thank Anmol Restaurant. They served us the food last night. It was awesome for those of you that could make it. So all in all, thank you again to all of you, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I'd like to do, Essen, if you can move the slide up to the agenda. Just quickly, in the interest of time, I'm not gonna cover the agenda, but just take one quick second to see. Of course, as you know, timelines are just approximate. We're gonna try to keep as best we can. We do have a seated lunch. The seated lunch is gonna be on my right in a separate room. Our lunch time is gonna be about 45 minutes, and we do have a speaker at lunchtime, so please enjoy that as well, and then we'll come back from lunch back in the room, and we'll continue on until 5 p.m. Okay. Next, I'd like to, Essen, if you can please move to the charter member slides. So just take a quick moment. This is our charter members. We have about 28 charter members in our organization, and they are all doing an absolute amazing job. So please, as you see them, thank them. Also, the executive committee, I'd like to thank them and all the volunteers. And at this time, I would like to invite Vice President Muzammil Musani to come up and talk about Open Chicago for a minute.
Thank you, Amir. Open Chicago, I'll talk about Open Global. Open Global is a network of Pakistani entrepreneurs across the globe. Chicago is a Chicago chapter. We have chapters in Boston, New York, Silicon Valley, Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi. Open Chicago is a great network. It's a great organization to work with. I've been associated with the group for about 5 years now, and I'm proud to work with Naveed, Amir, and of course, Haris. So I would highly recommend everybody to be part of Open Chicago. It's a great organization. You get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of corporate members, and a lot of young folks who can inspire you. You can learn from them and work with them and collaborate with them. So yeah, we have everybody here. Thank you so much. This is our 4th annual event, and we are very proud to have you here, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Muzammil. Next, I would like to invite our sponsorship chair, Babar Rathore, to please come up and thank our sponsors.
Hi, everyone. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I won't be able to name all of them, but you can see their logos that have graciously supported our platform. Some of them have set up booths at the back. Please make an effort to visit their booths and learn more about their sponsorship. And I just want to make a quick note about sponsorship at this point. It is critical to our organization because as you all know, we are a nonprofit organization run by all volunteers, and over the years we have made a great effort to reduce the cost of attendance, and our goal is in a year or 2 years to bring the cost all the way down, perhaps make it free, and in that endeavor, sponsors are really going to help. And also, sponsors are getting tangible benefits. Our tracking shows that attendees who visit our website or who are attending our events, they are actually going to sponsors' sites, their social media accounts. So we encourage all our attendees to keep us in mind for next event and next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Babar. Next, I would like to invite our marketing lead, Ehsan. He's going to come up and tell you a little bit about how this program is being shown all over the world. Ehsan?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for coming up on a Saturday to attend this annual conference for Open Chicago. I'll just walk you through some of our ways through which you can engage with Open. Number one, it's our website, open-chicago.org. So we have 3 major categories at this point: charter members, executive members, and volunteers. They're all based on your age group and your professional experience. So come, get involved, just put your email address and someone from our team will reach out to you. And there are a lot of activities which we do over the year: fireside chats, meeting up with executives, mentors, and traveling across for Open Global and other events. And what's the power of Open? Just wait for a few minutes when our chairman comes and talks to you about how big is this network and what's the worth in terms of billions of dollars. Then today we are live on our Facebook page, Open Chicago Official, and we have our handles on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can use Facebook and Twitter with the hashtag OpenChicago2019 for any questions, anything, and we'll be putting up on the stage today. So we'll be using our social media very actively. We'll have sessions like business plan competition where your friends from across the world can connect with us, ask us questions, and we'll ask the people. Just to let you know the exposure of Open Chicago in particular, this year we were endorsed by Salman Ahmed from Junoon. He actually did a tweet for us 2 days ago. Then last year we had the ambassador visiting us and giving a keynote address. And this year we have Syed Zulfi Bukhari sending us a special video message for this audience of Open Chicago. So make sure you stay tuned the whole day and use this hashtag OpenChicago2019 for anything you see, anything you share. We are live on Facebook or everywhere across. Just use this hashtag and we'll make sure we give you a lot of publicity with that through our network. And now I would invite Farooq Javed, who is our mentoring head, and will be talking more about the details.
Thank you, Asen. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone and welcome to the annual business conference for Open Chicago. My name is Farooq Javed. I'm a charter member at Open Chicago and also global head of cash technology at Northern Trust Bank. So I'm going to just take a few minutes to explain the track that we've established today around coaching and mentoring for young professionals, students, and entrepreneurs who want to kind of get into this field, though. The track has really been set up by our volunteers around charter members who have a diverse experience in multiple industries, healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, financial services. So I think they're taking out their time, and they'll be offering one-on-one coaching and mentoring sessions, though. So let me talk a little bit about the logistics of how this session will run. So we have set up a mentoring desk, which is outside. We have a couple of volunteers who are sitting there. We have 7 charter members, and I'll introduce them briefly. They have available slots. You'll be able to go and sign up based on your interest. You'll be able to sign up on the available slots, and then you'll know the time, and we have set up a mentoring corner on the left-hand side where you'll be able to go and meet and spend about 10 minutes or so and have some conversations with the mentors, though. So in terms of, so that's basically the logistics. We're going to run that pretty much through the day, and the time slots are, as you can see over here, we start around 11. It kind of goes through different slots. So we have kind of allocated an hour slot for each charter member. So I will strongly encourage you. I think it's a great platform, especially if you are a young professional, a student, and you want to really get some experience to understand from the mentors and all that. And I think it's also a great opportunity to build some networks. You can follow up with these people outside of this conference as well. So I think it's a great platform, and I hope you will take advantage of that, because I think people are keen to kind of really share this information. I'll spend a few minutes on some of the mentors who have signed up. So starting, we have Dr. Khan Siddiqui. He's the founder of Hopper, which is an AI intelligence platform. Dr. Khan, if you can just stand up for a moment. So he runs data intelligence, AI intelligence platform. So thank you. He will be mentoring and been running the business very successfully. Mr. Mahmood Majid. So thank you, Mr. Mahmood Majid is a managing partner at ZS Associates, and he's been running the practice around global business solutions, technology solutions. He's one of our mentors as well. Amna Shah. So Amna Shah, she will be joining us as well. So she's a founder for iCard and AHS Consulting. And she is basically, her mission is to get rid of physical cards. So I think it's an interesting app, and she's also one of our mentors. Asif Khan, he's a serial entrepreneur around healthcare. He's running a very successful healthcare consulting, Hugo AI, and a nonprofit, Rana. So very successful entrepreneur. Rizwan Mir, he is the CEO for Universal Service Fund. He's, again, one of our mentors. Gibran Ilyas, unfortunately, could not make it. He's stuck in New York. So he's a cybersecurity expert. And then lastly, but not the least, Omar Javed. Omar. So Omar is, again, a serial technology entrepreneur in IoT, education, and enterprise enablement platforms. So I think there's a great set of mentors we have lined up. Hopefully, you guys will take advantage of it. And I'll just wrap up by saying that, sometimes it's really the 10-minute conversation which can spark new ideas and open up new opportunities and new ways of thinking that can shape the trajectory of your career. So generally, it's not like, need to spend hours, and something, small conversation can spark new ideas, though. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Farooq. All right, at this time, it's my pleasure to invite our chairman, Mr. Haris Ahmed.
Good morning, everybody. Come on. One of the criticisms that my kids give me is that you guys take yourselves too seriously. So while this is a business conference for sure, but we can have some fun on the side, don't you think? All right. Well, thank you to all of you. Great to see lots of familiar faces and faces that are streaming in late as expected in our community. I just wanted to, that's supposed to help you get here on time next time. What the program today is really very simply about a platform to connect and amplify. And I think it's useful to sort of stop and think about this for a few minutes. So about 20 years ago, a couple of people out of MIT sat there one night, as often happens in the great city of Boston. Good thoughts come from there, right? That they sat there and said, there's nothing for the Pakistani American community to sort of connect and do something together. And out of that thought, a first chapter was born. And over the last 20 years, that has spawned almost 13 chapters on last count across the United States. And then at some point, we decided to start chapters in Pakistan. And the idea is very simple, that as blessed as all of us are in terms of reaching whatever chosen fields that we have, and over the 30, 40 years that people have been in this country in large numbers, attained whatever modicums of success might be. But that really doesn't translate. It doesn't really translate to impact. So in very simple terms, it is to provide a forum, a network, a platform to transform individual success into some collective impact. And many organizations are trying to get at this. Our effort is really to have you all come and join in groups like this, connect, meet, get ideas, and go forward. So success on a day like this is dependent on you also. It depends on what you bring to the conference in terms of your openness to ideas, your desire to meet people who you don't know, and do something with that. Organizations like this don't create value by itself. The only value that they create is provide a forum. So that's what we have put in front of you, and I hope that you will take full advantage of the day that you've carved out of your busy lives. So I'd like to just, the wrong way. Just in terms of Open Chicago, over the years, and I've been fortunately involved here about 6-7 years. There have been many in the room who have had an involvement that goes about 7 or 8 years. Like any organization, we go through lots of different sort of phases of growth and evolution. What we've now got is a network that is about 15,000 people strong in terms of the impact that we have, or the influence that we have, and that's not a small number. It's a one yardstick, but it's an important yardstick to get. Our rough estimate, and that's really based on some self-reported numbers and some inferred numbers, that we sit somewhere about close to 100 million, and many tell me that the combined net worth is probably larger than that, made up of components in terms of defining, in terms of those who would say that their net worth is in millions or multi-millions. And I don't put that up there as a statement of, wow, look at what our members have, but a yardstick of where this community has gotten to. And, the question that all of you need to answer for yourselves and us is that, what do we do with that? Now that we've gotten the modicum of success, what do we do? In terms of capital raised, only in the last couple of years, about 100 million has been raised by those who have been affiliated with Open Chicago. Our profile is mixed, all kinds of folks. There are about 15 founders, 12 serial entrepreneurs, many who have attained highest pinnacles in corporate hierarchies. This is our current team that exists. No surprise from an education standpoint, a highly educated group. And haven't had any recent exits, but if I go back 4 or 5 years, there have been a number of successful exits. So the reason for putting this up is to kind of show you the potential and the power of the platform. And if you take a look at Global for a second, that would really sort of surprise you. Global, Open Global, a network of about 12 or so chapters around the US and various places. When you look at them, they've got about 350 charter members, about 150 executive members. Out of that, if you look across, about 100 founders, actual founders of companies per se, so really pushing the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country, 90 of them having done more than one startup, which is a significant feat in itself. Obviously, the education is big. The network of Open Global today purportedly is north of 100,000 and probably higher than that. It's difficult to get a full assertion on that. In terms of combined net worth, we get interesting conjectures on this. I've got my colleague, Kiwan, who tells me that it's much larger than that, and perhaps it is, and we're being conservative. We think that the combined network is in excess of $5 billion. That's a pretty significant amount of power and potential that comes with that stuff. Capital raise has been, in the last couple of years, in excess of $1 billion. So that I share this with you to give you a sense of what the platform can do. The question is, how do we use and utilize the capability, the financial capability, and the domain capability that our members have and do what with it. So let's have the dialogue throughout the day about what we can on a local basis in Chicago do to extrapolate this and take this to pull our community to the next level. And I'll just note in the end that it's interesting in just the 7 or 8 years that I've been involved that when this platform starts to be seen by both representatives of the US government as a conduit to the diaspora community, and it is seen as a platform for members of the government of Pakistan as a conduit to the diaspora community, you know that you've started to achieve a level of significance. So thank you for giving me a chance to kind of give you a sense of the global organization. Many people think it's just a local group. I think it's important for all of you and those who are interested in joining this that you'll be joining a global group of successful entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you, Haris. At this time, I'd like to introduce our esteemed Consul General. Mr. Javed Umrani assumed charge as Consul General of Pakistan in Chicago in September of 2018. Prior to his current assignment, he served as the Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Pakistan in Nepal from August of 2014 to September of 18. Mr. Umrani has extensive foreign service since 1994, over 24 years both at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Islamabad, and Pakistan missions abroad. He has served in various capacities in Buenos Aires, London, and Madrid. He holds a master's degree in business administration, and he is very well versed with foreign services. He's married with 2 children. With that, let's give a warm welcome to our Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Javed Umrani.
Thank you, Amir. Tao Shanklin, Radhika, our young friend from State Department, Haris Ahmed, Chairman Open Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I'm grateful to Open Chicago for providing me this opportunity to say a few words to you on this very important annual gathering. At the onset, I congratulate Open for hosting this wonderful event. We at the consulate maintain a regular contact with them and coordinate our effort to serve Pakistani American community in the best possible fashion. The large, hardworking, and thriving Pakistani American community in the US is yet another bond between the two countries and has made valuable contribution in strengthening relations between Pakistan and USA. Pakistani diaspora in the US continues to positively contribute to the socio-economic development of not only their adopted country, but also to their roots. Open Chicago's efforts to promote entrepreneurship and excellence within Pakistani diaspora and beyond are commendable. As I have personally witnessed, Open has remarkably expanded its base by expanding and co-opting its platform of networking, learning, and excellence. As we know, there is a long list of successful Pakistani Americans who achieved global acclaim in their fields, and I'm sure you will add to this list also. Taking advantage of the presence of successful entrepreneurs, professionals, venture capitalists, social leaders, and academicians, I would like to briefly highlight a few points for entrepreneurship in Pakistan as well. Despite facing some economic challenges, Pakistan is now on the right track of economic growth, and in order to attract investment, the government is providing various incentives to investors along with ease of doing business. With CPEC being a priority, infrastructure development, energy and communication sectors have been earmarked for investments. Pakistan is strategically located in the crossroads of Asia. Thus, its strategic location allows Pakistan to become an important trade, energy, and transport corridor. Most importantly, Pakistan is the gateway to energy-rich states of Central Asia, the Gulf states, and Far Eastern countries. This unique feature of Pakistan's strategic location alone makes it a place of endless possibilities. Moreover, Pakistan currently has the largest youth bulge ever recorded in its history, making it one of the youngest countries in the world. Of the total population, 64% is below the age of 30, and 29% is between the ages of 15 to 29 years. Pakistan has always proved to be the home of most resilient nation awaiting its overdue rise. It has all the requisites of being a major economic player in the region and Asia. Its economic potential is immense. A testament to this is World Bank's report just released yesterday, which listed Pakistan among the top 20 improvers in doing business 2020. As I have seen in the agenda, a panel discussion on US-Pakistan Women's Council has been scheduled later in the day. I would like to say that just like the US women, Pakistani women who constitute half of the population are known for their resilience, intelligence, perseverance, and incredibly strong will. From political leaders to civil service, members of armed forces, to sports, entertainment, and in defending human rights, our women have only made Pakistan proud. Pakistan has taken a number of progressive policy initiatives and legislative measures for women emancipation and empowerment, including reserving seats for them at all levels of political governance, in addition to general seats. We have established a national policy for development and empowerment of women and enacted a number of laws that reflect our commitment by political differences and unresolved disputes. In the same spirit, we urge the international community to help end an unprecedented lockdown of the Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir after revocation of Article 370 on August 5, 2019, and provide people of Kashmir access to medicines, food, and their essentials. What the people of Kashmir demand is the realization of promise of right to self-determination made to them decades ago by the international community under UN Security Council resolution. In the end, I would like to thank Open for hosting this remarkable event. The Consulate General of Pakistan will continue to extend its fullest support to Open to achieve its cherished goals. I wish you all success and quality time here. Thank you, Open.
Thank you, Council General Murani. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our program. Our first keynote message today is from Thao Shankling Roberts. He is the Public Diplomacy Officer for Pakistan Affairs at the US State Department. Previous to his assignment to the Pakistan desk, he served on the East Africa team in the Bureau of Conflict and Stabilization Operations. Thao also served domestically in the Bureau of International Information Programs, implementing a department-wide customer relationship management software initiative. His overseas assignments included a posting as the Public Diplomacy Officer at the US Consulate in Hong Kong and Macau, and the Consular Officer at the US Embassy in Mexico City. Let's give a round of applause to Thao.
Good morning. Thank you, Amir. I appreciate Open Chicago for having me today. Thank you all for being here. I'm glad to have the opportunity to meet so many open business leaders from the Midwest region and beyond. Many people think that the State Department is only focused abroad. However, Secretary Pompeo has made it a priority to increase our domestic engagement. It is important that our citizens understand what we aim to achieve on their behalf abroad, and we find interaction with the diaspora community beneficial in helping create a bridge of understanding between our nation's peoples. We have long valued our over 70-year relationship with Pakistan. We recognize that both countries benefit from cooperation on issues ranging from education to business and counterterrorism to mutual security. Like any relationship, we have areas of disagreement, but I am hopeful that our shared interests in a strong and prosperous Pakistan mean our relationship will grow and prosper. Today, I want to give an update on our relationship with Pakistan. I will also share some areas that offer the opportunity for collaboration and how we view the role of private sector leadership. Simply stated, Pakistan's stability and prosperity is important to the United States. As a nuclear country with the world's 5th largest population in a strategically important neighborhood, our relationship with Pakistan will remain central to our foreign policy. Our vision for Pakistan's future is framed within the South Asia strategy, which the President announced in August of 2017. It lays out a vision for how we get to a goal we all share: a peaceful, prosperous South Asia, which includes a negotiated settlement to the conflict in Afghanistan. Pakistan has an important role to play in the success of this strategy. Pakistan has made enormous sacrifices fighting terrorism, relentlessly pursuing groups that target Pakistan. But we are asking Pakistan to target without distinction all militant and terrorist groups that would use Pakistan's territory to raise funds or attack others in the region. While Pakistan has taken some constructive steps in that regard, it is critical that the country take sustained and irreversible actions against these groups, including on anti-money laundering and countering the finance of terrorism. The South Asia strategy also recognizes the importance of Afghanistan's reform efforts and regional integration and seeks to engage allies, partners, and regional neighbors, with Pakistan playing a key role. The situation in Afghanistan remains fluid, but we continue to look to Pakistan to play a constructive role in helping bring long-term peace and stability to that country. We are increasingly emphasizing our desire for a more trade-focused relationship. President Trump and Prime Minister Khan had an excellent meeting on the margins of the UN General Assembly this week. There, the president reiterated his desire to double, triple, quadruple trade with Pakistan. The United States is Pakistan's largest export destination. U.S.-Pakistan trade in 2018 reached a record high of $6.6 billion, and U.S. exports to Pakistan reached an all-time high of $2.9 billion. This is good progress that benefits the population and businesses in both countries. However, the number could be even higher. India, by comparison, has 7 times the population of Pakistan, but 21 times the two-way trade with the United States, at $142.1 billion in 2018. So we see a tremendous opportunity to increase trade with Pakistan. We remain optimistic about Pakistan's economic potential. Procter & Gamble has a 26-year relationship and a more than $150 million investment in Pakistan, and 60% of what they sell in Pakistan is manufactured there. Aside from an ongoing dialogue with Pakistan's government to improve the prospects for increased trade, we also work in many other ways to broaden economic ties. Over the years, partners like USAID, the Commerce Department, and the Overseas Private Investment Corporation have focused heavily in Pakistan and that will continue. USAID programs are also partnering with Pakistani banks to expand private sector lending for energy projects. For example, USAID built a transmission line in Sindh that leveraged 680 megawatts of private sector investment in power, particularly wind energy. We are also helping improve Pakistan's trade relationship with its neighbors through programs such as the Pakistan Regional Economic Integration Activity, a 5-year USAID-funded project focused on improving competitiveness and facilitating increased cross-border and transit trade. USAID plans to work with Pakistan's Board of Investment to create a single window facility or one-stop shop for foreign investment, directly benefiting businesses currently operating or planning to invest in Pakistan. Similarly, USAID is helping the Pakistan Federal Board of Revenue to establish an electronic single window for trade to reduce the time and cost to trade goods across borders. Much of our cooperation focuses on preparing the next generation, Pakistan's largest ever, to lead, such as the English Works program for underserved Pakistani youth. English Works equips them with 21st century life and work skills through English language, critical thinking, and soft skills courses. When it comes to connecting the US and Pakistani entrepreneurship ecosystems, our work expands year by year. However, there are real trade and investment barriers that limit the ability of US companies to enter the market and grow their businesses in Pakistan. Pakistan will need to pursue serious, transparent economic reforms to promote future economic growth. US companies continue to repeat several important concerns to us that will ring familiar to many here today. Lack of transparency in the assessment of taxes, a sluggish judicial system, and weak intellectual property protections, and the opacity surrounding the China-Pakistan economic corridor. We regularly raise these issues with the Pakistani government. Such economic reforms are essential for the US-Pakistani economic relationship to reach full bilateral economic potential. We are also invested in increasing women's participation in Pakistan's economy. Women's economic participation not only empowers women, it is critical to economic growth and is simply good business. The US-Pakistan Women's Council is a unique public-private partnership in which the diaspora community plays an important role. The council has been working since 2012 to help high-potential women and girls rise in the formal economy in cooperation with leading companies in Pakistan and the United States. Earlier this week, Acting Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asia Affairs, Alice Wells, participated in the U.S. launch of the second phase of the Women's Council on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, demonstrating a renewed focus on working with business leaders, civil society, the Pakistani diaspora, and government of Pakistan to increase investment, resources, and attention to bolster women's workforce participation and entrepreneurship in Pakistan. Data shows that women's economic empowerment is critical to economic growth. In the United States, women's labor force participation has nearly doubled since 1950. Because of this, the economy grew by $2 trillion. When women joined the workforce, wages went up for everyone. And women's economic accounts, income accounts for the majority of the increase and women's income accounts for the majority of the increase in family income. Yet, much more needs to be done to support women's participation in public and private sectors. Pakistan's ranking in gender parity and workforce participation, education, and health outcomes are among the lowest in the world. Only 12% of firms in Pakistan are owned by women, and female formal labor force participation remains low. Leaders across the government of Pakistan, civil society, academia, and the diaspora in the United States, many of whom are here today, are working to address the challenges facing women and girls in Pakistan. The Council, for its part, works for its corporate members, the Hushu Group, the Hashu Group, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Engro, the Resource Group, Citigroup, Procter & Gamble, and S&P Global, SimConnector, and General Electric, who are stepping up in their own workplaces to turn these statistics around. It has also joined forces with its nonprofit members, including Quantum Leaps, the American Pakistan Foundation, the Indus Entrepreneurs, and the U.S.-Pakistan Business Council, among other organizations, to address barriers to women's economic participation. Collectively, the Women's Council members know that accelerating women's economic empowerment is good for business and good for Pakistan. It is linked to global competitive productivity, job creation, and economic growth. I am excited to share two new initiatives launched by the Women's Council. Pakistan's Million Women Mentor Initiative, which kicked off at the event in New York this past Monday, aspires to connect 1 million Pakistani women with Pakistani and U.S. mentors. In partnership with the US-based company StemConnector and in coordination with 200 organizations and corporations, many companies and organizations are enthusiastically signing up. S&P Global, Citi, the Resource Group, Zafa Pharmaceuticals, KFC, and Pepsi-Cola have already pledged to mentor more than 24,000 women and girls and are the first in Pakistan to join the movement. Citi committed to more than 3,000 mentoring relationships, and S&P Global committed to 20,000. We joined forces with Vital Voices and WeConnect International to launch Pakistan's Women Business Opportunity Initiative. This effort aims to build inclusive supply chains and increase corporate spending on goods and services provided by women entrepreneurs in Pakistan. In addition to these great initiatives, the Council has launched a speakers program to connect experts and business leaders to women in Pakistan to spur employment, entrepreneurship, and access to capacity building opportunities. If you are interested, please attend the U.S.-Pakistan Women Council panel discussion today from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. at this conference. To conclude, we see many opportunities for continued partnership with Pakistan. Stabilizing Afghanistan, stability expanding our trade relationship, and promoting women's empowerment are all avenues for cooperation and advancing our mutual interests. But we also have concerns about Pakistan's economic situation, relationships with its neighbors, and space for civil society and press freedom. There are tough decisions to be made now and that will impact a generation, whether to enact tough economic reforms for future economic prosperity, whether to get serious about eliminating all terrorist safe havens, whether Pakistan will accept a leadership role that is constructive in the region. Our hope is that people-to-people ties between our nations, which include the diaspora community and bodies, can help Pakistan leadership across sectors make smart decisions, build capacity in institutions, and mentor the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tao. And now we have a very special message. As you know, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, was here the last couple of days. So one of his ministers, Syed Zulfikar Bukhari, he's a special assistant to the Prime Minister for Overseas Pakistanis and HRD, and he's also the chairman of National Tourism Board. He has sent a special message. He cannot come himself because he's on the plane right now as we speak with our Prime Minister. So let's listen to that message.
Assalamu alaikum to all my overseas Pakistanis in Chicago. I want to thank Amir Chalisa, the president of Chicago Open, for inviting me onto this, and also the chairman Haris Ahmed for inviting me to allow me to talk. I'm extremely apologetic that I couldn't make it. It's something that I attended in Orlando, and I was overwhelmed with how well the Pakistanis have done in America, especially the ones that are involved in Open. I saw people from all entrepreneurs from all walks of life in all different forms and fields, which was extremely encouraging. Pakistan is right now probably, I would say, one of the most entrepreneurial places to be at. The opportunity is immense. The time is just ripe. It's at that cusp of where probably President Erdogan took over Turkey when in his first term. That's where Pakistan pretty much stands today. Just before Turkey started to fly, just before his term is where Pakistan stands today. So I encourage all of you to come to Pakistan. We are working extremely hard. The Prime Minister is taking 2 meetings a week just on ease of doing business, especially for you lot, for the overseas Pakistanis. We're creating one window operations. We're trying to get rid of red tapeism. We want to bring Pakistan into double digits in the ease of doing business index. These are all our goals that we're going to be hopefully covering, inshallah, in the next 6 months. We're going to be coming up with big schemes, let it be property or let it be tech and software in the coming months. So stay tuned for that. But having said that, Pakistan has lots of other opportunities as cheaper labor. You can set up your companies here. We're creating the ease of doing that much better, where you can repatriation of wealth is something which we've taken up and solved, so we can get that done much easier than before. Also, obviously, the protection of your rights in overseas Pakistanis. Under my portfolios, I have overseas, I have labor and manpower, but I also have tourism. And tourism, obviously, is a sector which requires investment, but is a sector that, if you look at the world GDP on tourism and at average at 10%, Pakistan barely makes 3%. If it even gets to 9%, which is just below average, you create around a $12 billion turnover with a circulation within the economy of Pakistan. So tourism is a huge focus of the Prime Ministers and naturally of myself. Being in charge of it. So I particularly invite you to come and look into tourism in Pakistan, which is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I've traveled all around the world, but if you see the diversity and you see the sort of landscapes we have in Pakistan, it's unparalleled. Tourism is not only just hotels and resorts, it's hospitality schools, it's technology comes into it. Which can play a big role and a quick and fast solution towards solving our tourism issues.
Awesome. Let's roll to the next segment. And, these, some messages that you've received from government officials, it just provides you a sense of the context in which we are living. Some people say that we should be focused more on entrepreneurship, but my belief is that understanding that environment is very important. What matters is for you in the room It's people-to-people contact, as Tao said. So understanding the initiatives that are at play from both sides, and as members of the diaspora community, what do we do with that? All right, so I am excited that for the next segment, which is the heart of our such conferences, which is to have intimate conversations with key members of our community and then engage with you all in this. So it's my deep pleasure, and a personal pleasure to read a few things about our keynote speaker. Many of you know him, Dr. Mahmood Khan, who is an ex-Chicagoan. I think he still claims himself to be an ex-Chicagoan. He has achieved so many pinnacles of success. It's difficult to sort of capture that in a few words, but let me just highlight a few things. A gentleman who started in the world of medicine, graduated from the University of Liverpool, and then moved into the corporate sector, served right here in Chicago as the global head of R&D at Takeda Pharmaceutical, just up on 294. And then, since then, moved over into a larger corporate setting at PepsiCo, and rose there to be vice chairman and chief scientific officer, perhaps one of the highest ranking Pakistani Americans in a Fortune 50 company. Thank you. And then since then, boy, too many boards to mention over here, but I'll highlight a couple if you would allow me. Serves on currently the board of directors of Reckitt Benckiser in the UK, and more closer to sort of the element of our entrepreneurship here, serves as the chairman of the U.S. Council on Competitiveness, and he's chairman of the U.S.-Pakistan Business Council, et cetera, et cetera. What people don't know is, such resumes can be daunting, but I know that Dr. Mahmood is extremely generous with his time. He mentors tons of people. He is a family man. Please give him a rousing welcome, Dr. Mahmood Khan.